Dear Misty, I'm thinking about going to New York for college. However, I'm very, very shy, and I find it's getting harder and harder to make new friends. So I'm really worried that if I do move to New York, I wouldn't have any friends, and I just sit in my room all day. Do you have any advice on how to be more social? Alright, college is a whole nother story. You have to realize that when you go off to college, everyone's going off to college. So you're not the only one that's going to show up to New York and not know anybody. I would say over half the students that show up to your school are also going to be from not New York. Meaning they're not going to know anyone either. So making friends in college is really so much easier than it is to make friends in high school. Yes, you're all there to get an education, but everybody wants friends as well. Also, your college will have a lot of opportunities for you to meet people and be friends. My college, every floor that we lived on in our dormitory was called, it was kind of like a fraternity where they were called wings. And every wing was kind of like their own private fraternity. You can hang out with your floor. My floor, I was the social chairman on my floor. We planned a lot of things, just people on my floor to go do and have fun doing. Not to mention there's also going to be choirs and clubs, and there's going to be a student center where you can go. It's usually by the cafeteria, but it might be somewhere else in your school, and you'll see postings like, hey, gay and lesbian soccer, or hey, if you want to poetry reading, come on Wednesday. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities. So the worst thing I think you could do is sit at home, wherever you are now, in your room and not do anything. I would much rather you go all the way to New York and further your education and sit in your room, but I promise you, you're not gonna end up sitting in your room, because not only is it easy to meet other people in college because everyone's there to meet people, but you're also going to start meeting people in your refined major. If your major is communications, you're going to meet people in your communications classes that are like really into communications. Or if you're a business major or an accounting major, you're going to start meeting people with localized accounting and business classes. Also, you're going to meet a lot of people in general ed, so you can meet many different kinds of people. But if you take a photography class, you're going to meet a lot of people with photography abilities. So meeting people that you're really going to relate to is really easy in college. So don't be afraid. Just go be yourself and smile. And I think that in college is just like in real life. For example, if I go to a gay bar, before I became a drag queen, obviously it's a little different now, but if I went to a gay bar, I would usually walk around and stand alone and look at people, and I would notice other people standing around and being alone. Next week when I go back and I see the same person, it's much easier to walk in and be like, hey, you look familiar, didn't I see you last week? You have something to talk about. So if you're really, really afraid of not talking to anybody, go up to somebody and say that, like, hey, didn't I see you here last week? Or, hey wait, I think we have a class together. Even if you don't, just to have an excuse to talk. Be yourself. When I went to college, my main focus was to be myself, but it was also to be my truest self. When I grew up in high school, I was the oldest of 7 kids and the son of a minister and a praise and worship leader and a youth group leader in my church. So the me that I was at home was not the me that I wanted to be in college. I wanted to be whatever I wanted. Like, I wanted to drastically change. I thought about changing my hair, changing everything, because I wanted to be a new person and find myself. And that's what college is great for. You can truly come out of the closet or redefine who you are and find a new, because you're no longer a victim of peer pressure. You're no longer a victim of family pressure. You're no longer forced to be the you that you have to be when you're at home. You can literally be whatever you want. And that's the great thing about college. So again, don't be nervous. Don't be afraid. Go have a good time. But most importantly, if I could go back and relive college, I wouldn't be so social because I was in everything. I was in like 6 choirs, 8 ministries. I did the swim program. I did, oh my God, I was in every club. I was in plays. I was everything. I just signed up for everything because I wanted to be in everything. And now looking back, I was more interested in being social than I was in actually getting good grades. Like, I remember I took psychology one semester and I was flunking out of my class because I didn't have enough time to do all my papers. We had papers due every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was flunking out because I didn't have time to do my papers because I was more interested in being social. Oh, we have man a drama ministry at 8 o'clock, and then at 9:30 I have choir practice, and then at 10 o'clock we're doing Souls of Fire, and then I didn't have time. It was like on a cruise ship. My room was literally just used for sleeping because I did not sit in my room. But of course, your first couple of days is going to be weird and awkward, but just remember, all the other freshmen are also weird and awkward. Put that in the back of your mind and use that to your advantage. If you walk up to someone and say, hey, do you want to walk to class together? Or hey, are you, my building was called the LRC or the GLCC. Or not the GLCC, that's gay and lesbian, but the LRC, Learning Resource Center. Hey, are you going to LRC? Let's go, I'll walk with you. Everybody likes a nice person, everybody. Especially when they're all afraid just like you are. And most colleges do have freshman orientation. And that's where I met the most people that I stayed with friends with throughout all of my high school. I went to the business administration freshman orientation, and those were the people I really became friends with, because I think you have that one unique day where you show up and you don't know anybody and you're most afraid. They're all afraid and they don't know anybody either. So even if you don't talk to them then, you're going to look at each other and be like, oh my gosh, hey, I remember you from orientation. Hi, my name's Misty. Oh, hi, my name's Holly. One of my best friends, Holly, wasn't even a business major, but she went to business because her roommate was going to business and she was afraid to go to hers. I don't remember what her major was. But she went to my business administration orientation. And I became really good friends with her. And she actually went on to marry the son of a Christian singer. And I kind of lost touch with her. But, again, education is important. Knowledge is power. Go, get your education, and trust and believe. If you can truly be yourself, you'll make friends for life. And that's another regret I have. I was so far deep in the closet that I was afraid to make real true friends. And when I got kicked out of school, I just left. And I didn't even think to reach out to my friends that I thought I had made. And now some of them have come into my life now, several hundred years later. And they're like, oh my gosh, whatever happened to you? I missed you so much. And I'm like, oh, I just assumed that you hated me because I thought everyone hated me. God hated me, church, everybody. But yes, I know I've said it a couple times, I'm going to say it again. Go to college, go off to school, and meet new people. I promise you, you're going to have fun. Loving you, Zizi.